guys. Okay, at least they'll get the second half of the call. Um, okay, so with that said, do you guys want me to show you what I mean by extra guest fees? Does anyone
Yeah, I'm familiar, and I do have extra guest fees.
that could be a big one?
Yeah, actually, the funny thing when I look at my rank briefs now, so I have a four bed. I charge for an extra guest fee for anything above eight people, but somehow my 10 bedroom searches are ranked the highest on rank briefs.
Okay, that might be a big thing then. So if
Okay.
people are searching for 10, it's just hard to say exactly where they're
Mm.
dropping off, but maybe they're just searching and then they see and then when they go to book, they add the correct guest count and they see that price jump by X
Mhm.
amount, then that could be a potential huge turnoff for people. Um, I understand the purpose of extra guest fees. Like if but here is my thing. If the data is telling us and in telehost you guys, I just sent it to I can't remember. I was sending it maybe in the last call to people. There's tons of really great articles that IntelliHost will put out, and I subscribe to their articles, and they have like you can literally read their snapshots in 60 seconds. And they just the other day, I need to find the link and send it to you guys before the call ends today, but it was like their data can pinpoint that's often a reason why people fall off, and you're losing bookings. So based on that, maybe today, that's like the one thing you change is you drop that extra guest fee, tweak your pricing a little bit to make up for that,
Mhm.
and see what happens. I can't say it's going to be magic, but I have a feeling.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So try that and then just reach out to me like in a message or something and give me some updates because it's the worst when I give you guys some tips and then I'm like, I wonder how that worked out for them. So I do like follow-ups. Uh, but you can also track in Airbnb your views. Do you know how to do that?
Yeah, Becky showed me yesterday. Uh, yeah, I think the way they display it's kind of confusing because they stack the two graphs from like 2 3 month period or so. It's kind of hard to follow.
Yeah, it can be. And Rank Breeze and IntelliHost are definitely better. Gosh, they've changed. See, I can't even
Uh,
demonstrate it today
it's
because
on
everything.
Insights. If you click Insights up right there,
Oh, okay, yeah, there we go.
and
Um,
then
so
conversion.
yeah, yeah, you'd have to change uh down here.
Yeah, and then views.
Yes. Conversion rate too is an important one. First page
Mm,
views. And what I like, you guys, is to look at similar listings instead of over time. Make sure you're selecting your specific listing and those dates, and then you'll have better data. So yeah, you can track that, and then views as well. Compare to similar listings. Um, see where it drops off and all of that.
hmm.
It's more like you can even drop it in a notes app in your notes app or Excel sheet and just like for 1 month, you check it once a week and see if it's going up and down. I think that can be helpful to kind of track data that way. But for anyone who didn't know how to do we just demonstrated insights, conversion, views, all of and yeah, booking lead time can even be helpful for your specific property. But
Yeah.
yeah, I really want you to try removing your extra guest fee and just see what happens. Okay. Any other questions with that specifically, or did that give you some takeaways?
No, that's a good start. Yeah, just kind of thinking what tweaks I can make to
Yeah.
get back up there.
Yes. At the end of the call, and if you guys have to drop out of the call before the end, I'll post it on the Facebook group. But the link to the article I was talking about, I like to know that things I don't like to just give advice willy-nilly based on my opinion. I like to be data-driven and research-based whenever possible to demonstrate almost like evidence-based practice. So I'll drop that article and it may reassure you a little bit about a few other things that you could tweak as well. I should have had that pulled up today before the call, but so watch in the Facebook group or the end of the call for that too. So Okay, I think so Amy, you sent me your listing. I have so many pulled up. Let me find it. I lost it. I'm gonna go back in the chat. Amy, what's going on? Tell me your questions today if you're still here.
Yeah, I'm still here. It's along the same vein as the last time we talked, and it's about my landlord relationship, which is something I'm trying to improve. Um,
Okay.
so here's the problem that I'm facing now. Um, I just had my first guest that I would say who really actually booked the house for the sake of experiencing the house, not someone who is in town for a basketball tournament or someone who's using it for like work, like a corporate thing. These guys were there to experience the house. It was like a family reunion kind of thing. And so from there, I was able to really see what the problems are in the house. They were lovely. They gave me a 5-star review, but during their stay, one of the issues that came up is something I brought up to my landlord that she has not fixed yet. And that is if you see the second picture, the loft up there, yes,
Okay.
the top right window has is broken, like a broken glass pane.
Right in
Right.
here?
Yeah. So
Okay.
it's like maybe the size of my palm, but you can see that the glass is kind of like pushed out towards the room, and there's a clear crack, right? Um,
Hmm.
and she was like, "Hey, wasn't sure if you knew, but there's a crack in the glass. We have teenagers. What should we do? Do you know about this? Is it safe? Things like that." And then I was so embarrassed. I was like, "What do I do?" Of course, I was like, "Yes, we'll fix that immediately. Thank you for letting me know." Blah blah blah. But now I'm just like left with how do I get my landlord to like move forward on this and still keep our relationship moving towards being more positive. She knows
Yeah.
about it. She asked me to send her a picture and give her the specs. So she's gone the first step to see if she can get a quote, but I've heard nothing.
Okay. I have follow-up questions.
Yeah.
So, question number one, in your opinion, or is it fact, is there a safety concern with the window at all? Or is it just a legit, like, when you get a rock that hits your windshield when you're driving, but the window is still totally functional and fine? It's just a line. Is it just like that? Or is it like legit, there's a
No.
hole in the window?
Yeah, there's like it's the pane that it's like the cutout is like the shape of maybe like I don't know how to explain this, like a triangle.
Okay.
Right? And
Okay.
it's literally pushed out. So if anyone puts their hand on it, they could cut their hand, or if it like were to if anyone was like playing around in there and bumped against it, they could, hurt themselves. It's true.
Yeah. Yeah. Also I'm in public, so if you see me smiling, people are waving at my dog next to me right now. But
That's
um
okay. Yeah.
so okay, so yes, that is a safety concern. And okay, so let's figure out how to navigate this. That's what I want to help you work through. And
Yeah.
I know the background with your landlord, so I understand. Um couple things. What I would do, I would probably get 3 quotes for the window. I
Mm-hmm.
would, go to Home Depot. I would call a couple handymen. I would get as many opinions as I can because maybe this is like 200 bucks,
Mm-hmm.
and like maybe for whatever reason your landlord has in their head that they have to do all the work, they have to coordinate it, they have to go get the measurements, they have to get the quotes. And I think that we talked about how maybe your landlord has just some like easily overwhelmed, feels like little deals are a really big deal type of vibe. She feels maybe a little envious that you're doing something she wishes she could do. So there's a lot of like psychology behind your relationship. So I would do all the work and present it and just say, hey, no big deal. I went ahead and I know you've done this, Amy, in the with other items, and it almost like tipped her over
It
the
pissed
edge.
her off. She says I keep overstepping because I'm a renter and not an owner, you know, not an owner. So that's why I'm like, if I do that, then I'm just
It's a
leaning
safety
into the
concern.
things she's pissed off about.
Yeah, and that's a breach of contract. If there is a and get on, so Dana and I were chatting earlier about ChatGPT. Get on ChatGPT, look up the laws, look up the regulations, be able to have your rationale for how this is a breach of contract. Obviously, you're not going to throw that in her face and be like, "You're breaking the rules," but you're going to be able to have a rationale, and you're going to have screenshots of messages from your guests. And it's not to say like, "Look, I was right," but hey, I just want you to know, like I was, validated in a way. A guest did have a concern. Um, or another option, you're gonna have to get creative. And I mean, I don't know if your landlord comes to visit, but maybe you get all the quotes and you just fix the dang
She was
window
sup-
yourself.
she was supposed to come visit and we were supposed to have a thing, but then she canceled
Yeah,
last minute. So I was like, oh, she's in the house. I could get her to look at it. But she
yeah,
doesn't live nearby, so I don't know when she's coming back. And I have 10 other bookings coming up in the next couple, months. And
yeah.
I'm just like, we cannot wait for her to like find time to come back.
Another thing you could do is present it as, hey, this was brought up by a guest. I in no way am I trying to pressure you. I would hate to have to come to you after a guest is in the emergency room from a broken hand. If they bump
Oh.
into something like that. I mean, it's tricky because it's like, what are the chances that someone's going to bump into the window and it's going to shatter and there's going to be glass everywhere? I don't know. I don't know the full scope of that. You are going to get, especially if in like your checkout message or something, you ask for feedback, private feedback from guests, they're going to give it. And like
Yeah.
they are going to. A lot of guests feel kind of entitled in that way of like either it's a problem or they just want to be helpful and let you know. And sometimes you can brush things off and just say, thanks for letting me know. Another option, Amy, is you can just give guests a heads up. Hey, we're excited for your check-in. Just wanted to let you know there's a window that's scheduled to be repaired. It's not going to be repaired till after your stay. Don't worry. Like preemptively let them know this little tiny situation that's going on, not in like a scary way, but
Mm-hmm.
reassure them that, hey, it's all good. I'm aware of this issue and we got you. Can't wait to host you. So
Okay.
that's one way you could approach it too, so that if
Mm-hmm.
you don't want people to show up and be like, "Ah, it's not what the pictures looked like. There's a hole in the window," and then they start immediately assuming that you're hiding other things or
Yeah.
that they're not getting their money's worth or they're unsafe. So you could preemptively. I do it. I have stuff like that happen all the time where it's like we can't get something fixed within minutes. So if I know of an issue, I let guests know, and 99.9% of the time, they're like, all good, no worries, thanks for the heads up. And that's it.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
but um, hopefully that helps. It's delicate. I understand. I empathize with you in that regard. Um, I think, yeah, again, if you can get her to the house, if she'll agree to come over, that would be very helpful. But yeah,
Yeah. I
but
did.
maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a $200 fix and you just this is
Just
kind
do
of the
it.
thing. Maybe you just do it. If it's
Okay.
$500, like heck no. If it's $200, like I don't know, you'll make that up in a stay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if it's going to save you a bunch of headache, as long
Just,
as keep track of it, keep record. And
yeah.
if it becomes thing after thing after thing after thing that you're covering her for,
Mm-hmm.
you don't want to build resentment and
Mm-hmm.
and then boil over and
Mm-hmm.
lose your cool. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but document and get everything in writing, all the quotes, and keep all receipts and everything. And that way,
Yeah.
just in case, you've got your paper trail for what you've done. Um, so
Okay.
yeah, hopefully
All
does that
right.
help a little bit?
It does. It does. I mean, the other thing you're not seeing is that I put a refrigerator, like a mini fridge in there in that corner. So it's a high traffic area now because people are over there to get stuff out of the fridge. So if they put their hand on it, lean on it, well, you know what I mean? Like that's
Yeah.
my That's my issue. And then lastly, I just wanted your opinion on, okay, so now I have my outdoor stuff is complete. I have like the pictures for that and everything, which is great. But now I'm wondering, do I leave my outdoor furniture covered when guests check in, or do I leave it uncovered? Because we left it uncovered when we had the corporate guests who were there for the week, and everything got messed up.
Yeah.
Like I made the mistake of leaving like the lanterns on the table because I was so excited about them or whatever. And so then that there was rust and my napkin rings molded and like just in general, what do I do? Should I leave it covered, uncovered? How do I manage this? I'm definitely not putting anything on the table anymore outside, but just the general idea, the general question.
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I've actually had this debacle as well. The nice thing about Denver is things get wet and they dry within like an hour because it's so dry here. But
Hmm.
um the pillow, okay, outdoor furniture is outdoor furniture. Guests cannot expect that it's going to be in pristine condition with no dirt or water because it's outdoors. And
Right.
you may get some guests who are like, the furniture's wet. I had a guest once, we have these Adirondack chairs and a mountain property that's next to a dirt road. Everything's dusty. And they walked out and were like, oh my God, the chairs have dirt on them. And I'm like,
Hmm.
girl, you're in the mountains. Like it is, there's nothing I can do about that. I can't control dust, but that accumulates within 5 seconds. But what you could do, and this is all part of turnover process, so you're gonna have a checklist. You're gonna have an outdoor specific checklist with your cleaner, and they can fluff the pillows if it's a same day turnover and that that guest is gonna arrive. Wipe the chairs real quick so there's no dust, or get a relief blower, blow anything off of it. Don't leave anything out here. Put your little cute welcome basket inside on the counter. Cover the fire pit. You do not need to cover a wipeable chair. The pillows can get wet. They will dry. They're outdoor pillows.
Hmm.
Um, or you can set them in a bin, put the bin away, label the bin in a covered area, maybe somewhere in the backyard. And if you know what I mean by like an outdoor storage bin, and just label
Yeah.
it pillows and put the pillows in there. And then if they want to pull the pillows out, they can. It's cute for the photos, but maybe not as functional, and maybe guests don't even use them, and it's just like they throw them on the ground anyway. So,
Right.
but no, you don't need furniture covers for Adirondack chairs. Absolutely not. Um, I don't see any other like cushioned.
There's a lounge area with cushions that I just didn't put because I didn't like the photo angle that I had. But yes, there's a four-seater lounge that has white cushions that I'm concerned about. It's also wood. It's Acacia wood, and if you leave that exposed in the sun too long, like, it's not so great for it, I think.
Can you leave them folded up, and then if guests want to use them, they can pull them out?
What, the lounge
Yeah, the
area?
lounge
Well,
chairs.
well, they're not the ones you can fold. It's like a two-seater love seat and then two others
Okay.
that are just, so I had them covered, but you're
That
saying just
those
yeah.
Those I would cover.
Okay.
These do not need covers, but I
Okay.
didn't realize you had those because I didn't see them in your pictures. But with the cushions, they're gonna get nasty. Like that, and if you can add it to your turnover process to have your cleaner pull hopefully they're covers that can be zipped and pulled out
Yeah,
and
yeah.
washed. Yep, but those should be covered. Yeah, because they'll just look gross. If you can't fold them, put them away in between turns, and they're just sitting out there in the elements and they're white,
Yeah.
you'll get complaints. So those should be covered. And then just put that in your checklist. But
Okay.
anything that's like wipeable
Yeah.
or just a pillow, I don't think huge deal there. So
Okay.
um
So the table and the chairs, leave them exposed. That's fine. Just don't leave anything on the table, right?
yeah,
All that stuff's
this
inside.
yeah,
Okay.
the I see your cute little lanterns and stuff. And you could put some hooks by the patio door and maybe put, the lanterns on a hook if they'll stay hooked. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you don't want them rusty and they might blow away. But I think the table, if it's wipeable, the chairs, if it's wipeable, and don't neglect outdoor spaces. If you need to pay your cleaners a little bit more in the summertime to make sure they're doing the exterior, if you if you can, have always have them check that exterior space because you'll for sure get complaints if it's like chairs are blown over and it looks nasty back there and they see these beautiful pictures, then they'll feel duped a little bit. So,
Yeah. Okay.
um,
Yeah. Then the last thing that happened, because I covered the table, all the grass died underneath the table. It's brown. Looks like it was torched. So I guess I have to put like some decking or whatever under it so it doesn't look bad. But then I'm like, oh, if the lease ends in 12 months, do I now have to like pay to reseed and get the grass back to the way it was when I first got it? Like that's the thing I'm concerned about.
I don't know if I have the best advice for the grass. I don't know if I've ever, I mean, we'd have that happen in our personal home, but it's different when it's just your personal home. So maybe the group has some input. I do see Dana had put in a good prompt. So Amy, make sure you check the chat before you jump off.
Uh,
She's got a prompt for you for the landlord, and then
Okay.
group help Amy out with the grass situation. I'm not the grass girl. So okay, I don't want to let Flo. I don't want to leave you hanging. Are you still here, Flo?
Hi, yes, it's you.
Oh,
Hi.
okay, okay.
Oh, no worries.
Awesome. Hi, hi. Oh my
Hi.
gosh, I thought there was an L. What am I thinking?
Don't
Okay.
worry, it happens all the time. Yeah.
Um, so were we chatting on the Facebook page the other day
Yes, we
about
did.
okay.
Yes.
So you wanted to chat a little bit about taking over the lease. So tell me your questions and I'll see how I can help. And then Lisa, if you're still here, I'm trying to see Lisa, I do see your listing in here and I can answer your question after this one here. So okay, tell me what your questions are.
So I have one property that is going pretty well, and I was trying to start a second property, and I was debating like, should I get a one from scratch and do it the whole thing and all of that, or just maybe looking into the option of taking over a lease of a house that is already ready to go. Maybe I can just go and kind of give it a little bit of style, stuff like that. But I wanted to know a little bit of hear from experience about that topic. Like I've did kind of my own research, used quite a bit of ChatGPT on it. I've seen a couple properties, and I understand that I wouldn't be able. I thought that initially I wouldn't be able to, for example, take over someone's account
Correct.
to get those reviews or anything like that. So I had to pretty much that wouldn't be a benefit of doing that at all. That will go against the rules, and I have to start it from scratch. And I have to make sure that there's no duplication of the property as well, because I need to make sure the previous person deletes that account and wait a few days and start mine and make sure that you know
Mhm.
they've done it properly. But I
Yeah.
just want to hear any other general feedback. Is that a good idea? I understand that the furniture is depreciated. Um,
Yes.
I got an opportunity also from just posting there or someone that has a property.
Hmm.
And I just had a chat with him. He doesn't own all the furniture. He only owns some stuff that he went and put some work on it. But I see that he doesn't have much bookings for July, so he just said that he wasn't putting too much work into it. He's been busy and stuff. So I
Yeah.
just want to get general feedback. Like, is there anything else that you think I should be thinking of? Or is maybe
Yes.
a no go, better not do it?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll kind of give, and this, for anyone who's looking to do this, first of all, kudos to you to saying, hey, I've had success. I'd like to be able to scale. That's the whole purpose, right? Sometimes just having one property can be life-changing, but like Frankie and Dana were saying earlier, they're on their third, and it can be life-changing once you start getting to more properties. So you're like, how can I do this strategically? It is a strategy to take over properties that already are furnished, huge benefit, right? And you can purchase that furniture. You have to underwrite the deal and analyze the numbers. So I would highly advise against not just taking somebody's word for, hey, my property's doing great. Do you want to take over this lease and you can have all my furniture? Good luck. There is always a reason that somebody is trying to get out of a deal. Okay. And some people will lie to you. So I'm just, being honest. So make sure that they're sharing their P&Ls. And if things are going so well, then they have to be able to explain to you why they're giving it up. It could be a life circumstance, though there are situations where that happens, but don't fall for someone just telling you. We don't take words at face value. We take numbers and data and information that we do our due diligence on. So you get their P&Ls, get their expenses. What does the water bill look like? Ask them, what are the quirks of the property? What kinds of guests do you get? And then take the numbers, plug in your rent, plug in your expenses, plug in whatever updates you would do. And if the deal pencils out, go for it. Like, absolutely buy that furniture. You can launch from day one with furniture, and like maybe take 1 or 2 days to get new photos and add some updates and flair. Call Dana and get some interior design advice, or maybe collaborate together. But um just I can't like stress that enough, that you have to run the numbers. Okay, so then with that end, and you have to understand why they're giving up something. If it's so wonderful, why are they giving it up? That's what you have to look into. Negotiate. So maybe they're in a situation where they need to get out of the deal, and they really need a renter, and they've got a life circumstance. So know that you're not at the whim of just taking whatever offer they have. Negotiate the rent, negotiate the price of the furniture, do your research, get on ChatGPT, plug in what a depreciation scale for furniture is, and have hard numbers of what that value is, and then do not budge. Have a maximum amount that you will pay, lowball them, and then try to, maybe meet in the middle with what the furniture is worth. If that furniture is more than 2 years old, it's not worth a lot. I'll tell you that. And then you're correct. We can't transfer listings. Um, and it's just like there's no inherent value in taking over somebody's listing unless there's just not a way to do that legally, or that Airbnb would allow without you risking getting flagged. What you could also do is say, maybe you don't want to get into another arbitrage deal, and they have a listing with 100 five-star reviews, and you say, hey, I see a value in this. It would be a shame for this listing to just go away and all these reviews just go away. Why don't you offer to manage it for them? And leave the listing and just say, hey, I'd like to host this for you for X% every month. And that could be a potential way that you get into another deal as well, is you become a co-host, which I've talked about on other properties, or I'm sorry, on other coaching calls. Got properties on the brain. So those are my thoughts. And I mean, so other people in the call, put your emoji up if you know what I mean by underwriting a deal. Um, you have to know the numbers. You have to. Okay, what are your questions, follow-up questions about that?
Yeah, so I'm planning to do that research. They don't send me a lot of information in terms of like they send me some. So I have pretty much two deals that I'm looking into. One that I just got offered like just before this call. They're very different. So one is not. They don't tell me the exact reason why they're leaving the place. They say just they don't have the time to work on it, and they said that. But I saw like July, and they have a few bookings only, and they don't have that many. They have like 5 reviews in like 5 months they've been there. So I have 25 reviews, and I've been there for like since mid-March. So I'm like, that's just very low amount of reviews for being there for 5 months. But they say they don't have the time to work on it. Life happens, and they just it's just not for them.
Yeah.
So, but they got a few July bookings, but it's yeah, they're I don't know. But the place could be improved. Like you see the pictures, they have nice furniture, everything, but it doesn't have the style and all of that. So there's things to improve. So I know like I could do stuff, right?
Mhm.
The other one looks beautiful, looks like done by designer and everything. It's been there 5 months. I don't see any July bookings. The person has a like very like he has to go out of the country, um, um, and he's been called for the military, and
Okay.
he has to leave the country. He's like I cannot handle this. In another completely time zone with being called for the military, won't have access necessarily to internet all the time and stuff. So that sounds like a valid, obvious reason.
Yeah.
He got already the place with furniture, he said, because it was already an Airbnb from the owner, but he didn't want to deal with it So he don't want to manage it. So he gave it to him. He got a
Yeah.
lease. And he only had it for 5 months. He has like 13 reviews, 4.85, 2 4 stars, only because of 2 4 stars.
Yeah.
He said that he has another place that is, he says, going well, but this one he said he hasn't put much effort on it. But his
Okay.
July, August, September is blank. There's nothing on his calendar. And I did
Yeah.
ask him, like, why don't you have more bookings? How's your occupancy rate? He said that there's he hasn't been putting much time on it because of everything
Okay.
he has to prep for.
So there's
So
like there's two sides of it, and you can find the information to know what's true and what's not. And so this could be an I mean 100%. Like we took over a property that was fully furnished, and we knew that the we ran all the numbers in that market, and we knew what the potential was for that property, and the owner just it was mismanaged. And and now, we're pulling in great numbers. And so there are situations like that. But it's up to you to be able to say, okay, I've studied the market, I understand the comps, I understand the potential revenue. Here's what I know I can do. And this is a case of poor management, poor design, whatever. Go for it. Like 100% go for it. But you have to be able to back that up. Do not go based off of a gut feeling or I think I can. But it's kind of sounds like, it could be something that you completely turn around. And then if you're make sure you're looking up for anyone in the call who's taking over listings, make sure if a listing is getting deleted, exactly like you mentioned earlier, they have to delete it. It has to be gone, or you're going to run into Airbnb saying it's a duplicate listing. So if you need to be empowered to say, we're getting on a call together and we're doing it together, I'm going to watch you delete it. And you're going to have it in writing that the person is deleting it and you're the new uh, tenant, so that if Airbnb needs paperwork to prove that it's not a duplicate listing, just make sure you cover yourselves in those
do I have to
situations.
wait certain amount of that? That's what I was like. How's the timing of that? Because do I pay him first? Like, do I watch him delete it first? He may not wanna like. So that's the part that I'm not sure how to handle, like the deletion. And I was asking how he was planning to do it, and he told me like, well, if I get someone all of that, I'll probably just block the dates first to make sure I don't get any
Yeah,
bookings, and then I will delete the listing. They would probably just delete the listing because he has an account with, he has another listing there that I think he's just gonna have someone host or co-host.
yeah,
Um, so how, what would
yeah.
you advise to be the timeline? Like, should I pay first and then do the deletion together there? Wait a few days just to make sure that their system with their database is updated and his listing is completely deleted, hard deleted or whatever.
Yeah, that
Mhm.
because there's a risk. There's a risk you have to have. I wouldn't go into this situation without a written contract. And you can't, like, you guys, it is okay to get a lawyer review on a contract agreement. Pay a lawyer $300 to review a contract, and then that way you're covered. If he's like, haha, I got my money for all the furniture, and then like you can't list it, you've got to have it in writing. I wouldn't trust anybody. I feel like so. Um, yeah, find a real estate lawyer and have them review a contract, and then that way you're covered. If you're, that's me and my risk tolerance. You guys know me at this point. I don't do anything without understanding all the potential repercussions and my risk. I don't have a high risk tolerance, so I would rather err on the side of caution and have a lawyer review whatever contract agreement you have, so someone does not run away with your cash and then you're like, oh crap, I can't list this listing, then you're screwed. So yeah, I would have it in writing.
I think also like there's like people that do like a little escrow kind of deal where you put the money in a third party that does transactions with a contract.
Yeah,
So that could
get
also
on
be
that.
done.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
you
then I
you
have the.
seem like
Sorry.
you seem like you know what you're talking about, and I have full confidence that you're able to kind of navigate this, and it doesn't seem like you're somebody who's just gonna like randomly take a deal. So continue to think through it, ask yourself these questions. I do,
Mm-hmm.
you guys. I've got to, Lisa, I'll take a second to do your pricing question. Did I help answer or give you some advice here with this situation?
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
good to know other
And
people have done it and kind of.
yes. this is common, and I've been on the other end of it, the one, selling things and changing things around. So it's totally, but contracts, 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 run your numbers, run your numbers. That's like the biggest takeaway I want to give to you. Um,
Mhm.
so with that said, we're 10 minutes past, but Lisa, I want to make time for your question. And
Yeah,
Thank you.
then,
Emily.
oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. How's it going,
So
Lisa?
good. Just a quick question. This is about my property in Arvada.
Okay.
Um, as you know, I'm about 12 miles from the Mile High Stadium. Coming up on football season, a lot of my weekend bookings, they check in Thursday, check out Sunday. But noticing when NFL is at the stadium, my high ticket nights are Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Would you, how would you go about that to capitalize those days?
Yeah. Okay. So something to think about. The more restrictions you have on your calendar and availability, the less views you're naturally going to get. I want you to have the mindset of the market controls my calendar. I do not control my calendar.
Okay.
So if, like, let's say your ideal situation is you restrict minimum night stays or restrict check-in and check-out days to force people to be have to book. It's, the Thursday checkout Monday. You you could, but you're going to be decreasing your pool of people that are potentially going to book. Um, and if you don't do that, you can charge a premium. Like you can definitely make up for only hosting a 2 night stay instead of that ideal 3 or 4 night stay and have it be more of a premium rate. And then you may have a lower occupancy, but you have a higher daily rate.
Okay, that makes sense. So like maybe go in and bump up my Thursdays.
Yeah, I mean, well,
Within
if
reason.
if you're gonna allow 2 night stays instead of the 3 night stays, yes, like you could increase the rate and then you're at least it's making up for the value and having that 2 night stay instead of that ideal Thursday to Monday. Does that make sense? Am I answering
Yes.
it? Yeah.
Yeah, I have
Um,
it allowed to where it gets down to a certain amount of time. It does allow 2 night booking on Thursday. So if they check out Saturday, I still could book Saturday, Sunday. However, I find most people, I would say 90% of my weekend bookings are Thursday through Sunday. And I have had some longer ones like through August, and I have been filling in my orphan days in July here. So that's
yeah,
good.
yep.
But the
You know
January
what?
into fall.
Yeah, in Arvada, by the way, I increased my single night stays and it gets booked every time. Because not a lot of bigger properties allow that 1 night stay and you don't want to party, you don't want to reduce your rate to 125 for a single night stay and then it's a big party. You can charge a premium often for a 1 night orphan gap, especially in a weekend because there's always going to be someone that books it. In our July in Arvada, it's definitely bookable. But I just want you to think about again kind of the takeaway, the market demand controls your calendar, and the more you are restricted, the less you are viewed, and then you're going to find that you may find, I can't guarantee, you may find then that you end up scrambling at the last minute to fill the dates anyway. So
And not get those premium bookings. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So
Okay.
a lot to think through, but make some tweaks and you can always next call or in the Facebook group, like you can screenshot your price lab settings and me and Becky can give our comments or whatever. But yeah, I wouldn't worry too much. Like you're gonna get booked in the fall here.
Okay.
um, yeah, I wouldn't get too and people don't book very, very, very far in advance often. So don't get worried if you're not getting fall bookings yet.
Well, so I've already gotten like I'm like more than 10%. I'm like 25% over market occupancy. So I'm going in today just to make sure I'm high enough because I
Yeah.
am starting to get those bookings into the fall.
Yes. And on that note, sometimes a mistake that I see with pricing is we start to see all these bookings rolling in, and then we're like, oh, raise my prices. But the more your calendar fills, like the more the month is filled, the less days you have to sell. So those days should not be increasing. The other months that are still vacant should be increasing, and you are building more reviews. So the amount of tweaking of base prices and these early stages for you is way more often than like for my 2-year-old listing that I, know like the back of my hand when it's going to get booked. So yes, I think that based off what I'm hearing is you're doing it right. So I encourage you to keep playing around with pricing and yes, never, never set and forget. But I don't think you're doing
Okay.
that. So
Okay, perfect. Thank
cool.
you so much.
You're welcome. Yeah, I'm excited you're in Arvada and getting some bookings and doing well. And that's all I have, you guys. I love when people have questions and bring things to the call. So please don't ever hesitate to join me and ask away. That's what I'm here for. So I'll see everybody next week. Okay.
Okay, bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.